Hi, welcome back to Willey Farms. We've got a lot of great segments coming up that are your favorites, and you've told us that they're your favorites, so we've got that on the way. But first I wanted to show you our brand new coffee display. We've got some new coffees from Kicking Horse. That's in Canada. And we've got a lot of great coffees here, so you need to stop by and check it out. It's in a new location. You know, we do like to change things around here at Willey Farms, so you need to stop by and find out where all those new things are. We do have a lot of great segments for you coming up. We still get lots of questions about honey, so we're going to have that for you coming up next. And here we are in the honey department here at Willey Farms, and I have a special guest with me today. We have Darren Saucer from Be Natural. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning.
And we're here because just the other day, I was coming through the market and a customer stopped me and asked me a question about honey, and I didn't know the answer. So I said, I've got to get somebody here to have all of the answers about the honey. So with Be Natural, these are all of the products that you provide for us. And the question that the lady asked me was, she said, now this says raw honey, and this says raw honey, but they look different. Now, why are they different?
They do. They're two not totally different products, but they're handled a little differently. The liquid product has been filtered, but it hasn't been heated, so it's still raw honey.
Okay.
Because it's been filtered, it's going to stay liquid for 3 to 4 months. In cooler weather, it'll crystallize a little bit faster.
Okay, now you say filtered. How does it get filtered?
Maybe strained is a better word, but we put it through several layers of cheesecloth.
Oh, all right.
And then bottle it.
Okay, and this other one?
In cooler weather, again, it's going to crystallize faster.
Okay, all right. And then what?
It's raw honey.
So what do you do when it crystallizes?
If you boil a pot of water, take it off the heat, put your container in it. Put your container in the water. It's usually enough heat to re-liquefy it without changing the color or the flavor.
And of course, you have to be careful because it's a glass jar.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And also careful with the plastic.
Oh, right. Sure. Absolutely. Okay. So that we know about this. And what about this? The difference in that?
This is a raw, unfiltered product.
So this is what this looks like before you filter it.
Not totally. This will be a little bit more cloudy than what you see in the jar, but this actually has particles of wax, pollen, propolis, and because it's there, that increase or speeds up the process of crystallization.
Okay.
So the sugars are crystallized in this, so it's more of a loose jelly than it is a liquid. It's a very nice flavor. Some people feel you get a little bit more nutrients because there's a little bit more pollen, probably a little bit of propolis in there.
Okay, well that's what I was going to ask. Why would the customer come in and choose one or the other over the other one? It would be because...
This is just processed a little bit less.
Okay.
A little bit closer to what would come right out of the hive.
Okay. All right. And speaking of coming right out of the hive, we also have this too with you can see the honeycomb right in there. And so tell us how this is processed and gets into the jar.
This product is always a very limited supply, and you're always after me to try to make more. I try my best, but we're always out. This is basically our raw filtered honey poured around a piece of the actual honeycomb.
Okay.
The comb's just cut right out of the hive, put in the jar, and then we pour our honey around it.
Okay, great. And of course, we've got the smaller jars here, and of course, this everybody knows about the honey bear. So we've got this, and also in the smaller sizes of the honey bear.
Right. And
but
I try to match up the 12-ounce size, 24-ounce, 48-ounce, so you have a choice between glass or plastic.
Okay,
Some
great.
people prefer the glass.
Right, so there is a choice there. And also, of course, we have the larger sizes of the filtered
80 ounces in either glass or plastic.
I see a lot of customers coming in and they pick up the really big jars. And now how long would a jar like that last for a regular user?
That's a good question. I have a lot of customers. Every 2 weeks or so, I see them getting another jar.
Wow.
I always tell people if you don't use a lot of honey, try to get it amount that you use in 3 to 4 months because the raw honey will start to crystallize.
It will start to crystallize, and then you have some issues. Okay. Now, when I first started coming here and seeing the honey display, I saw this, the pollen. Now, it's honeybee pollen, and you can see that it's little crystals. It's not in liquid form at all. So tell me about the pollen and what we can use that for and why people want to buy the pollen.
Sure, it's actually pure plant pollen, and we collect it from the bees as they're coming into the hive. We put up what's called a pollen trap. It's basically a metal grid or mesh. As the bees hit their legs against it with the pollen sacs, the pollen drops in, and then it's air dried.
Okay, so
Pollen's very high in B vitamins, has all your amino acids. I think it's 22% protein by weight.
I did hear that some people are using the pollen, like a teaspoon of pollen, instead of those energy drinks because it does give you lots of energy.
Being 22% protein, it definitely gives you a big boost.
Okay.
And you want to eat that raw, so you take it off a spoon, put it in a smoothie. Some people sprinkle it over ice cream. There's no sweetness to it.
Okay.
Tastes a little bit like wheat germ, maybe.
Maybe put it on your cereal?
Can put it on cold cereal also.
Okay, great. And how about this? We have this. It's beeswax. And why would someone come into the market and purchase a brick of this beeswax?
Beeswax can be used for crafts, woodworking, people that want to make their own skincare products. Some people melt it down, make their own little candles. But that's a byproduct of the honey. When we're done extracting the honey, we end up with capping wax, which you can melt down, and we pour it into a little block, and that's the beeswax.
Okay, because when you make whatever you make, there's always a byproduct. Is that basically the only byproduct that you have with the honey making?
We do the beeswax. We do make candles. We have the pollen and our local raw honey. That's pretty much it.
Okay, great. And also we have these honey sticks. This takes me back to my childhood. The kids used to get these, but these are in many different flavors. This happens to be cinnamon. We've got the green ones, which are probably apple, yes. So there's lots of different ways that you can get your honey. And of course, we have a wonderful display here with all of Darren Saucer's Be Natural product here. And Darren, I'm going to have you hold the microphone here for a second. And like I've never had honey before, I'm going to have a taste out of the honey bear, because that's what we always think about, getting our honey, putting it in our tea in the morning, and boy, that's good.
Good stuff.
That's good stuff.
And the color and the flavor will vary depending on the time of the year, because it's small batches, and depending on what's in bloom, that determines the color and the flavor.
And I also understand that honey is very important when you're trying to manage your allergies, right?
Local raw honey and also the pollen. It's almost like a natural immunization.
Okay.
As long as you eat it raw, definitely helps with pollen allergies.
And you have to do that for maybe a month or two to sort of develop that immunity.
Right. That's one thing a lot of people do wrong. Once the allergies start, then they try it. You should try to get going a month or so before your allergies start.
Okay, great. Darren, thank you so much for all of the great information. Really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Now we know all about honey. Well, now we've learned a lot more about bees and honey. Let's learn something about how you can bring some beautiful fragrance into your home. Oh, this smells really good. Let's find out some more about fragrances in the house. We're down here in the home accent area, and we want to tell people about how to bring the wonderful fragrances into the home. Of course, during the summer, there's all the lovely summer fragrances, but now we're closing up the house, getting inside, and Gretchen's here with me. We're going to talk about all the different fragrances and how you can do that with candles, potpourri, and all kinds of things. So Gretchen, what do we have first here?
Well, over here on the end, we've got what a lot of people are used to seeing is the jar candles, the pillars.
Right.
Even some that are just a little different, but they're all in that same vein of a big container.
And some are scented and some are not, right?
The ones we're seeing here are all scented, but yeah, there are unscented ones too.
And we're going to talk about how we can still get a scent using the unscented candles.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we go from the big jars down to these little guys, which is a votive. You put these guys in containers because they do melt and melt down, so you always want to put them in something. From there, we go down to a smaller size, which is a tea light. These guys are really cute. They only burn for 4 to 6 hours.
So it's great for the evening.
Great for the evening, or if you're having a party that might last about that. I mean, they're done, finished, and self-extinguish in that amount of time.
And something that you were telling me just the other day is when you're talking about and thinking about doing your arrangement and doing candles and things, you said do it in odd numbers.
Do ones,
like you have
threes, fives. Yep. It's just looks somehow, for some reason, more organic, natural.
Okay.
It's a weird thing, but you can't go wrong. Can't
Okay.
go wrong doing it.
So now I see different ones here. These are different than the tea lights.
Yes, also still small, very nicely scented. These guys don't have a wick. You actually have to warm them in some way. This one here happens to be an electric burner. These guys are both electric burners. This one has a great
Oh,
candle in
it's
there.
warmed just by the light bulb.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you put your tart up here. We've got this guy, which is not electric. This is one that you would put another tea light. You could make it fragranced if you want. This one happens to be not fragranced.
Right.
Drop it down in there, and then you would grab one of these guys, break it
Break
up,
it up,
put it in,
there.
and your scent's going
And,
all
and
around.
as it melted down, it would let the fragrance go.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. You go into potpourri, which is no candle flame, no anything.
Right.
It just smells good. You open the bag, pour it into a bowl, make a nice arrangement just like this, and it's just scenting not as great an area, but right around where it is. So you might put it on a side table, you might put it as a
And it's a
coffee
softer
table.
scent.
Yes.
A little
yes,
softer.
and
But
softer.
it uses, like I see, cinnamon sticks and apples and oranges and
Yeah,
things like
and
that.
a lot of natural things that are in there that have a fragrance also, but they also add fragrance to this.
Okay, and we'll talk about that next, right? Over
Yes,
here on this
yeah,
next table?
yeah.
Okay.
We're going to come around this way, and there is a way to have things that aren't scented still have ambiance with a light if you didn't want fragrance, or say you didn't like the fragrance that something came in, because some fragrances are harder to find in a potpourri.
Right.
Like I like bergamot, I like patchouli. You don't always see those. You see peppermint, you see cinnamon, you see
Right.
things like that. So you can go around. These I just picked up from outside. Different kinds of leaves that are just looking beautiful because they're changing for fall. Some winterberry. Just put them around your candle, and then this is some beautiful moss. This is
Little moss.
Norway moss.
Okay.
Just fatten up what you might have already found. If you might not have to fatten it up.
Right.
And then the essential oils, you'll put a drop, 2, 3 at the most, because it's very highly
Right.
scented.
Concentrated.
And you can put that on the moss or something, and then you'll have fragrance there, and it'll be the fragrance you prefer.
You have the fragrance that you prefer, and plus you have the beautiful light fixture.
And
too.
there's other cool stuff too that you can put in. Like we've got rose hips and cinnamon and these really, really cool wine corks. So say
Oh, right.
you could just put these little guys in there. There's wine corks. You could put a little bit of scent on there. You can put a live flame, or you can use an electric
A little
battery
electric tea
type
light, yeah.
flame, which is
Some
what we've got
people
here.
are really very hesitant to do anything with a live flame. So
If you have children around,
Right.
you know,
Or
you might
rambunctious animals.
Yes, or you might be in and out of that room, and you want to be there with that flame.
Right,
so,
right.
So those kind of things are great.
and for really basic, simple things, if you say, well, I'm not artistic enough to figure out how to do that and make that
Yes.
look really pretty, I see we have some apple cider here.
Yes, apple cider. This is a mulling spice. You pop it in, keep it brewing on the stove.
Yeah, just pour it in the pot.
Smells great. The whole house
Smells like
fabulous.
you're a really, really good cook.
And you get to drink it too.
And then you get to drink it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's a funny looking orange.
It is. These are cloves, and this has been around for years and years, and I probably wanted to say centuries.
Probably.
It's just an orange. You
And it
take
has a special
cloves.
name too, doesn't it?
It's a pomander.
Pomander.
A pomander. And it's just cloves. Whoops, I want to open the jar, not just sprinkle it.
Right. Those are whole
Whole
cloves.
cloves. What I did was I used a skewer and just made a pattern, went back and filled that pattern.
And you just poke the cloves in there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and it just,
Wonderful. And they stay for a really long time.
oh, it smells
They
really
do.
great. It smells really
And
great.
again, being natural and stuff, you just take this pomander. This looks beautiful, just like this. But say you have another display, you can have your scented different things, and you just pop your pomander in
Right.
and add it to another display.
There you go.
And the apples smell great.
Sure,
You know?
sure.
And another flameless candle here.
Right,
too.
that looks like it's real. It's amazing.
Yes,
And
yes.
these sachets, this is a very easy way to bring fragrance into your home too.
Very easy. No flame. Again, it's just always there. It's just an ambiance that just is warm and inviting in your house.
And a couple things you want to remember is, and we've got a metal plate here.
We do.
It's you don't want to put it down on a finished piece of
Yes.
furniture.
Again, essential oils, so heavily
Right.
scented, and it can take the finish off of a table or something that you really love. You don't want to do
Mm-hmm. Right,
that.
but you can stick it in your
You
clothing
can.
drawers and things
You can
like
put
that.
it in your clothing drawers. You can put it in
Or-
the closet. You can put it in the car under the seat.
Oh yeah, good
you
idea.
can tuck it in an arrangement.
Right, just put the scented sachet into an arrangement
Yep.
that doesn't have any fragrance, and you've got Sudden fragrance.
Sudden fragrance.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay, well, Gretchen, thank you very much. All great ideas. And of course, the folks stop by if they need an idea. Gretchen or any of the folks here at Home Accents are the ones to come to and ask the questions.
Yeah.
Well, now we know how to make our home smell really, really nice. And we all know that smells really make a difference with your mood and how you feel and all that sort of thing. Well, that's where we come to aromatherapy and essential oils. And we've got a whole array of essential oils here. And we've talked about that before. We have everything from lavender to orange to rose to patchouli. Do you know about patchouli? Well, we've got more information about essential oils coming up.
But you got a lot of product in here for health that you don't necessarily eat.
Oh, that's absolutely right. We have a whole ton of extracts, and we have the essential oils, which is really for wellness and for mental health. It's for your mental health. It helps you sleep better and it just makes you feel better.
Yeah, see, I was always wondering what essential oils are, and it's aromatherapy. I mean, so, you know, for smell, what are we going to do here?
Well, we have over 40 varieties of essential oils right here in the store. We also have the extracts as well. But today we're going to work with the essential oils. Now, you can use it for a lot of different things. What I'm going to show you is how you can use an essential oil to put in your bath water just to make you feel better.
And that's what it's all about. People don't realize what you can do to your body to make you feel better, and through breathing or just, you know, oils on the skin, whatever. Just it makes it so much better. What are you doing here?
The sense of smell. I just wanted to say the sense of smell is so integral to how you feel, and it can trigger different feelings within you. And this is just how you feel better all the time. Now, what we're doing is mineral oil. We want 2 cups of mineral water. Actually, sorry, this is mineral water. So we put 2 cups of that in there, and we also have the mineral water here. This is the Pellegrino, but we also have this other in this beautiful blue bottle. We also have this available as well. It's just your preference. Then you take the extract of 1 lemon. So you just take a lemon, and if you squeeze it this side up, you attempt to not get the seeds in the water.
Oh, wow, I never thought about that, because you're blocking the seeds from
Right, right. So you just squeeze and this is called the extract of the lemon. You do that for the whole lemon. Put that in there. And then here's where the essential oils come in. You take 2 to 3 drops of peppermint in this recipe.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was looking at the different oils. I couldn't believe how many different oils there are back there.
Well, you put 2 or 3 drops, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. Doesn't seem like much, but these essential
It's changing
oils,
my mood. I'm going to cry. No, but that's what it does. It changes moods.
Yes, yes. And essential oils, I have to remind people that they are very concentrated, and that's why you only need 2 or 3 drops in these different recipes. So you whisk that all together. You get that together. And can you smell it?
I can. I mean, it's amazing to me that, you know, and this you would add to a bath, you're saying, or?
Yes. What you can do is you put it in this little spritzer bottle, which is what I'm doing right now. And that's what happens.
Yeah, and when you get a seed.
You get a seed in there.
Yeah, so then that's what we have is a seed in the way.
Yes, so we'll do it this way. There we go.
There
we go. We'll get just enough in there so that we can show you. You put it in the spritzer bottle, and then what you do is you spritz it like after a bath. You spritz it on yourself.
Oh, wow.
And you just see that peppermint, and then whatever's left, you put like maybe a half a cup in your bath water, and take your bath, and just makes you feel better. Isn't that nice?
Oh, yeah, that's a very nice aroma. I mean, you know, I could go around smelling like that all day, because and it depends, I guess, what oils you want to use. Because, like I said, I couldn't believe the amount of oils back there.
There's all kinds, and some names that you don't even recognize, I'm sure, because I didn't recognize them either when I was going through it. And there's different ways that you can do it. You can do it this way, or you can do it through a diffuser. And we have a couple different types of diffusers, and that is putting the oil in these diffusers, and it gets out into the air.
I love that smell. Yeah, I think I'll take that spritzer bottle home with me. But there's a lot more healthier things, products. I mean, when you're talking about, you know, Willey Farms, you're going to find all this on the shelves here at Willey Farms, but all natural products that you can use that are all health all the way.
Absolutely, and I'm going to show you some of those in just a little bit. I want to show you if you'd like to do something in terms of a massage oil. A lot of people think of the essential oils and the fragrances. They think in terms of massage, and you can make your own little massage oil. And what you do is, this is for stress, to get rid of stress. So you take 2 ounces.
I'm gonna rub some on the limo guy when we finish this.
You take 2 ounces of this sweet almond oil. This is sweet almond oil. Put that in there. There we go. 2 ounces of that. Then you've got the lavender.
Oh yeah.
Lavender essential oil.
Now these are drops here when you come to these.
These are drops. So you do.
Just a couple little drops. Yeah.
Because like I say, it's very concentrated. Okay, so you put some lavender in.
That will last you a long time.
That will last you a very long time. And then you have, now this is one that I'd never heard of before. I even had to look it up to find out how to pronounce it. It's ylang, Y-L-A-N-G, ylang.
Yeah, and just a natural oil.
It's essential oil, yes. And this particular thing, it's a tree actually, and you get the oil from, let's see, 2, that's it. 2 drops there. And you get.
Don't throw off the recipe, Tim.
I know. And here's another one that I wasn't particularly familiar with, and that is patchouli. But apparently the hippies of the 60s loved patchouli oil.
Well, we were there, Donna, and we don't know about it.
So we put one drop of patchouli oil in there, and then the last thing is a drop of orange. Everybody loves orange. Oops.
Now is that?
There we go.
Now this is all just is a massage oil.
Yes, this is a massage oil. So you stir that all up, mix it up well, and that's your massage oil right there.
I don't want to ruin my fragrance, so you're going to have to do it on this hand, just a little bit, bit on that hand there.
Right here on your hand.
Well, that feels good.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
it feels good, and then
Got a nice aroma
It's a
too.
fresh aroma.
Right.
fresh aroma.
I like that spritzer one myself. That peppermint, I'm gonna smell like peppermint all day. But like I said, that's one of the different recipes that you can make, and I guess you can go online and find a lot more of.
There's so many out there.
Well, here we are once again at the sampling station where all that good food takes place. And today we're going to talk about feeding the kids. Your kids, a lot of times some children do not like to eat their vegetables. Here's a way that you can get them to eat their vegetables, because most every kid I know likes tater tots. Well, today we're going to make healthy baked broccoli tots. And first, of course, you have to start out with broccoli. Now, you need to blanch that broccoli. And if you don't know what that is, you put a pot of water on the stove, get it up to boiling, then you throw the raw broccoli in there, time it 1 minute, no less, no more, 1 minute, get it out of there, and run it under the cold water of the at your sink, or put it in a bath of cold water with ice in it. Just stop the cooking of the broccoli, and it turns that beautiful bright green color. It's great. Then you need to cut it up. You need about 2 cups for this recipe. So you just start cutting it up. Now, there is a option of, if you have one of those fancy little ricers, you can do that too. Or you can just chop it up into nice little pieces. I hope you're getting a shot of this masterful chopping that I'm doing here. Okay, so now you've worked really hard getting your broccoli all chopped up, nice little pieces, and then you take the broccoli and you put it in the bowl. You get about 2 cups, put it in the bowl, and then you do need to get your oven preheated to 400 degrees. So you got that preheating while you're doing your chopping. Then you've got some parsley. Now you can use a different herb if you like to. If you like the taste of cilantro, you can put that in there, or rosemary. The recipe calls for any of that, but I kind of like the parsley. So you get the parsley, and you only need a couple teaspoons of the parsley. So let's take away the big stems, take those away, and then we just use our excellent chopping technique and chop up the parsley. There we go. And you try not to chop your fingers in the process. And I suppose if you were really in a pinch and you didn't have fresh parsley, or you didn't have a way to get fresh parsley, you could use the parsley flakes. Just remember, when you put the parsley flakes in your recipe, if you put the dried flakes in between your hands, you put it in your hand, and then when you put it in, just rub it around. That kind of wakes up the flavor of the herb. So there, we're going to put that in there. And then you add the rest of your ingredients. Let's get rid of our chopping board. Then you add the rest of the ingredients. You got a large egg, because we're going to make these little logs, and they have to stick together in some way. We put in 1/3 of a cup of the shredded cheese. We put in 1/4 cup of minced onion in there. There we go. And then here's some things that also helps to keep it together. We've got the 1/3 of a cup of the Italian seasoning. After the Italian seasoning, you put in 1/3 of a cup of panko crumbs, bread crumbs, just a little bit of pepper, put some of that in there, a little bit of salt. You can do it without the gloves, but I'm going to put the gloves on, because the best way to get this all mixed up, use your hands. So that's what we're going to do. So we've got everything in here. We got the egg, the panko crumbs, the bread crumbs, the broccoli. And hopefully this is all going to stick together and be nice and tasty. Okay, I think it's pretty much. You can take a little scoop if you want to, or you can just pick some up with your hands. And you make a kind of make a little meatball with it. Spray your cooking pan with a little bit of oil, or you can put parchment paper down if you want. And then after you make your little log, you put it down there. There you go. See, that's working together pretty good. Make a little meatball, because remember, we're trying to make them like little tater tots, only they are broccoli tots. And you just keep working through all of your ingredients, and you get it out there on the, ooh, that one looks good. I like that one. Okay. All right, so finally you get down to the last of your ingredients. You get them on the cooking sheet there. Okay, and you put them into that oven, that 400-degree oven, for about 14 to 24 minutes. But halfway through, you want to remember to turn them over, because they get nice and brown on one side. Then you want to just open the oven real quick, flip them over, but be careful because they are a little delicate. Flip them over and get them browned on the other side. And once you do that, then they come out looking like that. And your kids are going to go, ooh, tater tots. We like tater tots. Well, they're not tater tots. They're healthy baked broccoli tots. And I was talking to Hayden before we started shooting today. Come on in here, Hayden. He said, oh, can you save me one? No, we don't have to save you one. You can be our taste tester. How you doing?
That's a great job for me to have. I am
it's a great job
ready
for
and
you.
willing.
Okay. So, and we've got dipping sauce too, and you can do whatever your favorite dipping sauce is. I got ranch right here, and I did a little prep last night to do some of these, and I used a sweet Vidalia onion kind of a dressing as mine, and that was quite good as well. So see what you think of our broccoli tater tots.
Anything nice and creamy, it sounds like it would go great with it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. Take yours, and I'll have a little bit here.
Right.
We're ready. Ready?
All right, ready to go.
Okay. Broccoli and the cheese.
Match made in heaven, those two.
There you go.
Wonderful.
I think that's very good. And don't you think the kids will like this? Mm-hmm. They like that they're little tots and it's finger food and they can dip. Yep. All right. So there you go. A way to get your kids to eat some healthy broccoli with healthy baked broccoli tots.
Wonderful.
Well, there you go. Some of your favorite segments from shows past and a little something new, those broccoli bites. They're really, really good. I think I'm going to go over and finish them in a little bit. Hope you'll stop by. Willey Farms were really easy to find. Route 13, Townsend, just south of Route 1, south of Odessa. If you're traveling on 1 coming up north, we're just north of Smyrna, so we're really easy to find. You can find us online at willeyfarmsde.com. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. So you can find us a little bit of everywhere. Hope you enjoyed the segments that we had for you today. We'll have more on the way. In the meantime, do you know how good avocados are for you? I think I'm going to go have one. See you next time.